Berlin Major was great. I wish there was AC, but you know, we fought through it.
Oh, the group stage was super hot.
We felt great playing against Rogue, especially the first match. We had a lot of confidence going into the next two.
We won first map, 7-1, their map especially.
We had some really good counters on their bank. We knew exactly what they were going to do. We had a really good ban on Echo. They shook their defenses a little bit. The game ended on Chalet. Our mental was still weak. We're still all pretty young. So after we lost Chalet, our mental was still like kind of chalked.
We peaked things that we shouldn't. We just did things that we don't usually do because we were overconfident, but we learned from it.
I think we just overheat. We kind of threw in the second map, and then we kind of made it like a stupid decision. We went Oregon.
Ended up costing us the major, in my opinion. I think that was the major for us to win.
They weren't missing on the last two maps. You know, it is what it is. It was their major to win. I think the biggest thing we can improve on is we never win the third map, it seems like, in a best of three. So just win the first two, hopefully, or learn to win the third map.
We're just like a championship team. We have like the potential to just do whatever, as long as we don't just like lose to ourselves. Every time we lose, I feel like we just lose to ourselves. We don't really lose to the opponent.
People just got to realize that the game is not over. You can be 6-0 for the other team, the game is not over. Every round is winnable.
I mean, at the rate we're going, that means we should lose in the winter finals in the next major, and then hopefully win invite is what we're thinking if the trend stays.
Well, there you go. They got the strategy all figured out. You know, lose the next major finals and win invite. That's like one step at a time. They'll get there. As you can see, XSET, one of the two teams in our next match, going to be XSET versus Beastcoast. Welcome back to the desk here at the Rainbow Six NAL Doha. Jesse Jacob here with you as always. And this should be an action-packed one, right? XSET looking better than ever, fresh off of semifinals. You know, appearance at the major in Berlin. Their opponents, Beastcoast, making some changes. Always an exciting team to watch. We'll see, you know, what the personality, what the makeup of the team is now with these changes. So a lot to dive into with this one. But let's talk about XSET a little bit first here. We have Gomez on the screen with the stats. 2.1 reaction time.
Yeah, Gomez pretty cracked. I think that this is obviously a team that a lot of people are expecting to do well here in the final stage of the NAL. They're the only team XSET to go back-to-back into the major playoffs. So this is a squad that people are very, very high on. They played a great Berlin major, in my opinion. I think Gomez was a big reason why. You can see his stats there, 60-second speeds, 222 reaction time. Is that up to your standards, Doha? How's 200?
Oh, I think it's okay. I think it's okay. You know, as a former StarCraft guy, like the APM is pretty important, though the reaction time is higher than in nearly every other game, so I'm a harsh judge when it comes to that. But you're doing okay, Gomez. Doing okay.
All right.
Ooh, Zeno, though. 421, I don't know. Not quite blazing fast with that, you know.
It's blazing faster is what it's doing.
Slightly.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, the higher number is slow.
For the record, I had zero idea what Zeno looked like until this exact moment.
There you go.
I had no clue.
That's
He's a good-looking young man.
That's a man himself, and I talked to him last week. He said one of the big things was transitioning from fan to teammate, you know? He had to, where he watched the members of Beastcoast play, he was fans of those guys, and like now he's sitting on the desk next to them, competing with them. He's like, you got to make that transition. You're a coworker now. You have to forget that fan mentality, you know, be a partner.
I've definitely had moments where I was like, wait a second, that's Seltzer. I've liked Seltzer for a while, and all of a sudden we work together in Stockholm. I'm like, how in the world is this happening? So that's a relatable feeling for sure.
I think we all have that when we jump from, you know, fan to working in the industry at some point, whether it's player, cast, or whatever, for sure. Let's talk about XSET a little bit more in depth. When I chatted with these guys last week in Vegas, the big through line that all the players are saying is we got overconfident versus Rogue. You heard it in the video there too. They won that first map 7-1, and then after that, things went downhill, and they went downhill pretty fast. That overconfidence, that it puts you in a fragile mental state, and that's what they got to avoid if they want to ever take a major win.
Yeah, in that semifinals on Chalet versus Rogue, they lost a couple of clutches, and you could tell right after those two huge rounds, the mental just escaped from them, and they were not in it for map number 3. But overall, you cannot say that XSET had a bad major. They had a 64% defensive win rate, the best of any team at the major, and a 54% attacking win rate, the second best of any team at the major. Statistically, they did fantastically. They had the most grenade kills in the tournament, and they had the second most survival rate at the tournament. In the NAL last stage, they were also incredible statistically. 61% defensive win rate, the best in the league, and having a very high team KPR, 3.73. The stats don't lie. This squad is fantastic. I think a lot of it comes down to the coordination, right? DS, Yaga, or whoever it is inside the site are really, really strong at being able to work together. Kino, I think, one of the best smoke players in the entire league. And then you take a look at the Rome as well. Spirits and Gomez on that extended position is such a deadly combo.
Yep, they are back-to-back major playoff appearances, the only team in North America to accomplish said feat, and the greatest group stage performance of any team in the NAL under the current major format in Siege history. So that spans Mexico, Sweden, Charlotte, and now. It was such a good performance, 15 points in that group stage prior to even worrying about the semifinals. But they still should be the favorites to make top 4 again, unless for some reason their play style gets countered. And if I'm honest, I don't really know if it will. They've always seemed as though they've been at least that one step ahead of the curve they've needed to be in both stages 1 and 2, in spite of being 4th place in both stages. In a best of 1 domestically, that might not be where they thrive the most, but in both group stages at Charlotte and in Berlin, they've been exemplary. They've been kind of leading the way, and it's really proving that this project, this hodgepodge of players that came together in stage 1 right after SI, it's paying massive dividends so far for XSET as a whole.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about teams needing to adapt their play styles, change things up a little bit for the new meta. XSET is probably one of the teams that has to do that the least, I feel like. They've already been a gunfighting team. They've already relied on taking a lot of those things. They've already been really good at hitting those shots, and I feel like that is a massive edge coming into this one. So you don't need to really change a lot.
I'd say you don't need to. I think they've developed their attacks beyond just being fast starters, because we said, hey, we know that they had some leadership questions. We didn't know who was meant to be calling the shots when they focus on the execute. But now they start attacks well, they end attacks well. Their defenses were always explosive, maybe needed a little bit of reining in, some refining. They've also gotten that down to a T, to a point where, like Jesse mentioned, they were second on attacks and first on defense of any team at the major, in spite of going out in the semifinals.
Right.
Yeah, I think when you take a look at like them versus other teams in terms of adjusting to the new meta, what you see is like this is a squad that didn't have to make any roster moves, so they're going to get a head start in that sense, so they don't have to also just learn the basics with their team. But also, like, they weren't a team that really had anybody super reliant on Finca, on the LMGs. Like, sure, Spears played a lot of it, but he also played a lot of Yana. He played a lot of other operators. He flexed around a bit, and Gomez as well played quite a bit of Yana, quite a bit of Nook, liked those other operators that are in the pool. So I don't really think this is going to be a squad that struggles with LMGs not really being in the meta anymore. Talking about how that might be the case, and maybe for some of the other teams, but I really think that XSET are going to be totally fine in this current meta. And yeah, as long as they still get their smoke on Kino, as long as they can still run around and play their aggressive styles of defense that they love so much, I think they're going to be fine.
Yeah, so we go from the team with the best performance at the Berlin Major from NA to a team that was yet another one from Sage 2, just a point or two away from going to that major in Beastcoast. Now, this is a team that made some changes between stage 2 and 3. Ferda coming in, Zeno coming in. We should mention that Mark is going to be playing instead of Ferda, still working out some visa things there. We'll get into that a little bit more in a moment. But when I talked to these guys, they said really what they were trying to change is the attitude. They were trying to change the vibe on the team. There was a lack of teamwork, a lot of the members felt. There was some attitude issues. Some changes were made, as you could see, and ideally that has been solved. And I asked a lot of them, I was like, so Beastcoast had this kind of like bad boy, like villain personality in the NAL. Where do you feel that personality is at? And the remaining members, like Anthony Surf, said, you know what, like that's not us anymore. We're developing a new personality for the team. We're gonna see where things go. So we might see a change in a lot of ways for this team coming to Stage 3. We'll see. But it seems like kind of the intent is there.
Yeah, it's a new team on Beastcoast, and vibes are so important, right? You have to have players that know how to work together. You have to have players that can play in a fun environment. It's something I talked to Lycan a little bit about Space Station Gaming as well, having some of those issues. I think perhaps it was even worse for Beastcoast, as just speculation, but it does feel like now for them, if they've gotten all on the same page again, if they've gotten these new players in, they can do well. Obviously, Zeno is going to be the one new player in this server today. Ferda comes in a little bit later. Zeno played 4 stages of Challenger League, pretty mid results, all things considered, anywhere from 5th to 10th, depending on the stage that he played on with a couple different teams. Just last stage, he finished 6th on Nocturnes alongside Doc, who we saw earlier today. I think he's a very good second entry player. When you watch him play, I think his ability to refrag, walking in behind a Finka main on Yana has been really impressive, can often chain that into 2 or 3 more kills as well. I really do like the way that he's been able to fit himself into that role. Probably won't be a Finka in front of him this stage, but whoever it might be, if he can get onto an operator that he's comfortable, if he can work with a partner as he enters into the building, I think he could be really, really strong, but it's all about finding that partner. And on Beastcoast, it's questionable who that might be.
Yeah, I think Xeno is honestly probably going to be able to still thrive in this format, at least for a while. But the problem isn't Xeno. The problem is Ferda, because Ferda is not here. And as much as we might want to talk about him and his impact and what he might be able to do, it's Mark the Shark playing instead. Now, this is a Mark the Shark that has fully transitioned into being a coach, so I don't have any expectations of the old Mark that we saw from Tempo Storm or Reciprocity or any of the other teams he played for back in the day coming out on this Beastcoast team. I see an opportunity for them to just fully put any support duties on him. He can work in tandem with somebody like Slash, because that's a lot of what he was playing in Stage 2. He could have flexed around to a support if it was required, but I honestly think you need to put somebody like Mark on Breach. The issue is now Beastcoast coming into a stage not having their full team with them, knowing that they already needed to make adjustments. So you have, like you mentioned, the basics that you have to work over with the team, and the whole of understanding that whatever plan you had for this stage can't fully come to fruition until Ferda comes back. So you've got the mental thing to overcome, as well as the base issue of not having all the players you want on the server at the same time. It's a double whammy of suck for Beastcoast.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Mark smiling on the screen, though. I mean, he does keep a positive vibe with the team. As Zeno said, he really likes being coached by him. He says, you know, he points out obviously when things go wrong, but he keeps that vibe going well. So at least you got that going for you in the game. We're not expecting a ton of the team, obviously, playing with a sub, but we'll see what they can do, I guess, as we find out what map we are going to. The bans are in, so let's check it out.
Let's have a look here, hey? It's gonna be their first time. We might see some changes. Initially, I'm seeing a border ban coming through. That makes a lot of sense. Take a look at XSET on that map, and they are undefeated. They've only played it twice, but still, those are some pretty decent teams, one of which being NIP back at the major. So that's certainly a map that they're not too bad on. Then you get Villa and Bank. Bank, kind of an interesting ban to be chosen by Beastcoast.
Yeah.
That's a map that they were undefeated on in Berlin. They're on a 3-game win streak. Despite that, though, I think feeling that maybe it's a little overplayed. They don't want to show it. They don't want to give it to a Beastcoast who might have learned some things from that. And then another kind of interesting ban for them, Oregon, going to be taken out of the field. That was their most played map in Stage 2.
A lot of footage out there, though.
Yeah, you're right. There is a lot of footage back there. And although they only had a 50-50 win rate, you know, they lost twice to Rogue, you know, the eventual champion. So clearly still a good map for them.
What this has done is it's put 2 of Beastcoast, or both of their perma bans for both stages, at the very end of this ban phase in both Club and Cafe. They're both still here. So it's a toss-up about which one Beastcoast might decide to ban. Theoretically, they've always hated Cafe, so that might be what they go for. But it means XSET then have the toss-up between a map that they've tried pretty consistently and never really found too much success on, or a map like the one that I think we're gonna go to, which is Chalet, that is the one that started their descent into madness back at the Berlin Major when they lost to Rogue. That was the last time they played this one. Overall, for the course of the year, Chalet is one that they've tried 4 times. It's an even 50-50 win rate over the course of this year with majors combined. And as far as Beastcoast is concerned, the only 2 times they played it was back in Stage 2. The difference being it was 100% banned by Beastcoast in Stage 1. Those 2 times that they tried it before, it was way more middling success, but it's still not that great.
As you leaned on, Jacob, for XSET, this was their map pick in both of their series that they played in the playoffs for Berlin. So you've got to think that maybe Beastcoast have leaned into that and given XSET a map that they already like. They don't come into a map ban phase like this without a plan, so I'm sure they've got a strat for Chalet, but it's certainly not going to be one that XSET are uncomfortable on.
Yeah, we'll see. It's, you know, reworking sort of like the map pool was a big priority for a lot of teams between Stage 2 and 3. I mean,
yeah.
Dark Zero said it was their main priority, basically. So a lot of teams are thinking about it. Beastcoast XSET, of course, you know, have to have that in mind as well. With 2 new players, it gives you a chance to revamp a lot. So a lot of those map stats, I wonder how much those are going to apply going forward with all the changes here. And XSET, you know, they probably just want a little bit of Chalet, you know, redemption too. I think you're going to be okay with that after how the major ended. So, why not, right?
I think if they learn how to play Chalet to a point where if they're caught in that scenario again, they do have something to default back on, that's probably good, especially if you're playing it in a best-of series. Like they said, they want to learn how to win the second and maybe the third map if it comes down to it. So if they just get more like in-house practice on Chalet, that's cool. But for Beastcoast, they know they're in a hole because they're not playing with their full team. So at least they're going to a map they know there's a lot of tape on for XSET.
Yeah, that's right. Should be fun. We got all the information we're going to get before the map, which means it's time to make some predictions. First, we'll send it over to none other than Pengu and Intero to see what they have to think, or what they have to think, what they have to say based on what they think. What do you have to think?
You were wrong last time, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. He's going to put it out there.
The analysts were like 0-2, so I mean, I'm in good company.
0-3, thank you.
1-2 now.
Hey,
That's
Coin's
tough.
doing great. Coin's 2-1. It's not me.
Not bad.
Power of the coin.
So what are you thinking, Parker? I want you can go first. You gotta feel like you gotta go opposite of me. What are your guts telling you?
My guts are telling me to go back in time and not eat the cauliflower mash, but that's a whole other conversation.
Was it that bad?
But
Okay.
We all learned something.
What's your head telling you?
that's my head tells me that it's gonna be XSET.
Okay. I
Consistent
Represent.
roster.
yeah.
Beastcoast, I think, are a good team. Obviously, I am very curious as to what Zeno and Ferda are going to do. Ferda is, I'm assuming, trapped in Nova Scotia. Can't get out. He can't get a visa in time.
That's tough.
He actually is in Vegas, he just can't play.
Oh.
Yeah, he's actually in the house playing with the team. It's just a matter of, you can come into the country and do something and practice with the team.
Right.
Appearing on stage and actually being in an official capacity,
For
that
legal
requires
purposes.
the proper thing.
So if you wore a mask,
Keeping things on the
could
level
do
like
it.
they need to, yeah.
No. Okay.
That's defrauding the government of their money.
Okay. Don't do that.
Competing illegally.
Don't do that.
You are not allowed to
I
do
don't
that.
enforce
Do
that.
not-
No, we don't recommend
do not
that.
listen to his advice. Not take
himself
his advice. I
deported
think
then.
XSET's going to win. Mark's obviously not bad. Mark has proven time and time again that he is perfectly capable of playing at this level, but he hasn't played in a long time. He's not an actual member of this roster. He's the coach. I think XSET's going to win.
I agree with the same sentiment there. If Ferda was here, I think you could argue a 50-50 in this case. But also, I mean, XSET lost at the major against Rogue in the semis. They lost 1-2. So it's like they lost the major winners. XSET's not a bad team.
Correct.
They got this one.
Yeah, well, I think it's hard to disagree with that, Pengu and Taro. Like, pretty clear-cut, it seems like. We'll catch up with you again once the map starts. Thank you very much. And so, analysts, XSET.
I mean, sure, but I want to say I'm so excited to see Zeno play. He's kind of like my sleeper pick of like one of the rookies that like is going to pop off and people aren't really hyping up to the extent they should. So I'm very excited for Zeno. I want to see him have a good game, but it's XSET, probably the best North American team right now, versus Beastcoast playing with a sub. Picking Beastcoast here is really hard to justify.
Yeah, if we were talking a Parabellum or a Mirage or any other team that didn't have nearly as crazy expectations, then maybe Zeno gets the chance to shine. And again, it's not like the role that we think Zeno's going to be playing is really affected by the fact that they have some support questions and Ferda not playing. So I do think Zeno will do respectably, but it's not going to be enough to beat XSET.
You know, aside from Snake, Zeno was the player that most existing pros talked about being the one to watch coming out of Challenger League into Stage 3. So
I believe it.
He does have a lot of hype around him, at least in the pros and NAL at least. So we'll see what happens. But we'll see what the coin thinks right now. It's going to be heads, XSET. It's going to be tails, Beastcoast. We'll do the flip. Oh, my God.
No! Uh-oh. Is this the second time ever?
Day one. Day one. They want to lose it.
Uh-oh.
Now
What happened
the
last
camera
time
has
he
to
dropped
follow
it?
me
What
as
happened?
I come down.
I don't
Luckily, we're all
remember.
wireless here, so I can do this. Here. There we go. Thank you. I did it. I dropped it. I don't know what it was. We're going to flip it again.
Uh-oh.
If you dropped it twice,
One is
though.
easier. I would never drop it twice. That's ridiculous. That's just silly to even think about.
You're right.
It's tails. Beastcoast, clearly the winner. Stupid coin. Anyway, it's time to see what the fans have to say.
You finally said it's stupid.
The fans have to say about this. I think the fans are probably going to vote XSET as well. There you go. You know, the coin likes to predict upsets from time to time. We got one right today.
Yeah.
Get the Parabellum right.
Okay.
It's not going to get this
We're
one.
not talking about the
It could.
But it doesn't think. Remember, it does not actually have like a consciousness.
That's
It
what
is
you
We
think.
know. We know. You've
right.
told us.
Oh, I know. I have to keep reminding people. I don't want anyone to attribute any sort of mystical powers to this. That's just not right. Well, let's see what the community poll is going to this next series. There you go. Who will get more kills while using suppressors, Yaga or Surf? That's a very specific question.
Well, suppressors
yeah,
are
we
hot
can't,
right
we can't
now.
track
They
that.
certainly are.
So we actually won't have the answer to this question when we come
You
back.
can like, I'm sure
Somebody's out there
figure
writing it down
out.
manually, possibly.
Yeah,
Possible.
Justin, get on it.
please.
Thank you, Justin.
I'm so embarrassed I dropped the coin. The walk of shame is the worst.
You should be.
It's not as bad as...
I've done a walk of shame before.
I was going to say, it's not as bad as your walk of shame at the Berlin Major. That was...
I never want to do that again.
Yeah, but it's close. Anyway, don't go anywhere. Quick break, and when we come back, the game gets going. Beastcoast versus XSET. Beastcoast with an uphill battle. XSET looking to get a strong start after a strong finish in Berlin. NAL will return right after this.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for our fourth matchup of the day. And we predicted XSET over Beastcoast. Yes. You and I were in unison.
For once.
And we're going to rep the set. But Beastcoast are no slouch. They've got a new player on their own roster, one of many who happens to be making their Tier 1 debut today. I believe there's 8, was what Jesse and Jacob said.
I think 8's accurate.
Unfortunately, we won't see all of them because Ferda is stranded in Las Vegas. Not the Maritimes, like I thought that he was. No, no, no. The Nova Scotia boy, as his Twitter bio says, he is, well, he's right now chilling in Vegas. But legally, he is not allowed to play.
Damn. Bummer. Unfortunate.
I mean, if you're stranded in any city and you can't legally work, Vegas is a pretty good city to be in. It's not like he won't be able to find things. So he can find things to do.
Sure.
If he wants. Maybe go on a hike. Is he have legal age to drink? Does he have legal age to gamble? Can he go to a casino? I don't know.
Probably not.
Actually, Vegas would suck.
Actually, Vegas would suck.
If you can't do any of those things, then Vegas, yeah, Vegas would suck for that. It's like, congratulations being in Vegas. You can't gamble. Can't do any of the fun stuff that people go to Vegas for. Maybe taking a show. Anyway, we're ready to get into the game. Chalet is the map. We saw Border in our very first match of the day. Theme Park followed in 2 and 3, and now Chalet. Nice amount of diversity when it comes to these maps. In keeping, Nicholas, with the tradition so far.
The Nook ban.
The Nook ban.
It stays on the board for every single game of the EUL Playday 1 and so far throughout NAL Playday 1 as well. Nomad, I believe, first time, honestly the first time of Stage 3 has been banned. It was played earlier at least. Also on Chalet, one of those options you can choose to if you want to, like, you know, make it more difficult for the attackers to stop you from flanking, etc. Nook is a pressure, the utility, the silent stepping around, and Asami is one of those very frustrating operators on Chalet because you can deny so many lines of sight as a defender and really make it so much easier to defend library, most notably when you're extending around the map. So Asami is a very common Chalet ban.
All right, last ban coming in, and it's a Valkyrie. Unsurprising. With the fact that we see a very different meta in front of us, the operators that have been center stage, both in those that have been played and also in those that have been banned, they all have one thing in common. They all tend to work around information.
Yes.
We saw some IQ play earlier today. We've been seeing a lot of Lion play, so don't be shocked if we continue to see these info ops continue on. We are missing a member of XSET. I don't know exactly
just not there.
why, but yes, they are not present. And we don't know exactly what is wrong, but immediately, unfortunately for us, there are tech issues. Whole computer crashed. I don't know how a whole computer crashes, but there you are.
Oh, apparently someone said he's stuck in the ban phase. Kino said, that boy Bossman is stuck in ban still.
Maybe they got banned.
Oh my god, there's some banter in chat as well. I like this.
Ooh, you're missing all of it.
Yeah, sorry chat, you guys can see it. We can see it.
These teams are very good friends.
I took a screenshot of the, probably shouldn't do that, but I took a screenshot of what the players are talking about before the, the map ban started. And one day I'll put it out on Twitter, and it's a pretty good laugh. It's pretty innocent, but it's pretty funny. Foxay would know what it's about.
Would he?
Yeah, because he makes the same joke sometimes when in the post lobby as well as he.
Foxay's a funny man.
Foxay is a funny guy.
Foxay is a very funny man. For those of you that have not followed the off-season roster moves after dropping Drip on Beastcoast, they also dropped Sweater. Well, they didn't drop Sweater.
Well, yeah.
Sweater got acquired by OXG, which left Beastcoast needing to fill 2 roles, so they picked up both Xeno and Ferda. Ferda boys. Ferda can't play because of visa issues. Xeno is on stage all fine. Mark is filling in as the sub until those visa issues for Ferda are fixed. Over on XSET side of things, they did not touch their roster from the major. And for good reason.
Since they remade their Brazilian roster, they haven't done anything since.
That is correct.
They've stuck it.
Well, I mean, they finished in the top 4.
Yep.
And also had an okay run in Charlotte, if memory serves me correctly. Either way.
They had a decent run.
XSET miles better than the roster that was on this team the last time these teams played last year, if you recall, and one of the most fabled and infamous games in NAL history, but not always necessarily for the reason that we'd hoped. Regardless, it's a different look for both squads.
Very different.
And I would argue that they are a significant step up in both ways than they were before. XSET, of course, is a no-brainer, but Beastcoast as well. In much better shape. Where will they finish? That's the question. XSET have been good enough to finish in the top 4. They made both of the majors and are aiming to repeat that success by going to the fall major as well. By XSET having that consistency, they are all but guaranteed an opportunity to go to the 6 Invitational as well. I think their odds, even if they finish like 9th or 10th, is still like 99%.
Yeah.
So
it's
XSET have all but clutched their spot in SI.
Meanwhile, Beastcoast, we're all kind of, I think a lot of people were excited about the idea that they were going to make top 4 and make international events, but they have kind of fallen short time and time again. And the thing that I'm excited about is Slashhawk on this roster because he was a veteran who used to play the game a lot, and he kind of stepped out the scene for a little bit and somehow, out of nowhere, makes a return with some young gunners. And while in stage 2, so last stage of NAL, they got, I believe, 7th place. But it was such a close season for every single team that being 7th place was like 1 game away from being top 4, which is 1 game away from being at the Berlin Major. So I hope we can get to see Beastcoast at some point, hopefully for the November Major, to represent North America on the international stage. But we'll see how they can do in their first opening game against XSET with that slight handicap of missing a player.
Obviously, you never want to find yourself in this position, but stranger things have happened before. Was it not the Sonics playing with Goddess on this exact map?
Chalet.
And they won. The coach of Sonics, former pro, of course, stepping into the fold to play for, was it Rexon, I believe, who wasn't capable of playing during that match. Well, now you've got a former player himself of Mark the Shark stepping in, the coach of Beastcoast. And will that same success be seen by Beastcoast that we saw the Sonics have? Well, maybe, maybe not. We'll find out. Either way, Chalet, a map where it's not unusual to see all 4 bomb sites get played. First site to start off for Beastcoast, who will ride through the first 6 rounds on defense. It's upstairs in bedroom.
Yeah, Master Bedroom actually one of the lowest pick rate bomb sites, if not probably the lowest pick rate bomb site on Chalet across every single region. So a bit of an odd one to start off with, but they got this castle mirror set up. And right now, XSET, they're just kind of applying pressure on a couple of windows and balconies and using their drone information to figure out what the setup looks like exactly and how to approach these following couple of minutes. But no real engagements have been made so far. No real damage has been done. Just going to start opening up the castle barricades and try and see what we can find.
Spirits was so close to an early pick, but the bullets just whiz over in the wrong direction. XSET have to be wary of these two different windows, one in bathroom and the other over by library. Spirit still sitting and waiting for the bathroom, waiting for anybody to give him an inch. All the while, a bit of a split push. Gomez walking up library stairs, and he discovers Zeno. What an entry for Zeno, but no kill in round number 1. Gomez still positioned at the top of the stairs, baiting out the next, and there he goes. The high rate of fire on the F2, just chews through just about anybody but Slash in his rat corner. Watches 2 of his teammates die, but it might have been for the greater good, as Anthony also gets onto the board with a kill onto Spirits.
Yeah, XSET quite spread apart right now. 2 members inside of Solarium, 1 member on the opposite side of the map of Fireplace. Anthony seeking out this engagement, flashbang comes out. Good timing for him. Kino, though, stays alive. These magnets will protect Anthony for the time being, but BC, they need to play together as does XSET because we're quite far apart.
We got a minute to go. Rattle of a flashbang goes off as Kino storms through bathroom, and we'll find a castle barricade. Gives him a bit of clear passage, and look at this. All of a sudden, Piano is theirs for the taking to leave Surf into a 1v3. Unfortunate for him, the castle barricade is there, but the diffuser goes down as Kino gets sprayed through. Diaz has the trade, and XSET with the numbers advantage seal the deal with that final kill and take round number 1.
I mean, Gomez just made that round so much easier for XSET. Getting the 2 kills, only then just to be traded, that's crazy value. Walking off Fireplace stairs like it's nothing, and then finding that much value. Of course, Slash, he did get the backstep towards the end, but it's Castle staying alive of all operators. It's one of the weakest guns in the game of the UMP. It's not the one you want to keep alive. We see it here. Boop. That's the first guy gone, and then boop. That's the second guy gone, and then Slash says, I'll get the job done here. Beep, 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 beep.
Is that the official sound?
That is the official sounds. As the replay does not have them, I shall provide them. And boop, that's diffuser down as well. That right there is
actually, if we could throw maybe like a sepia filter on top of it, we could say that the replay was actually from the 1910s, back during the silent film era.
Okay. The more you know. I did not know that was the silent film era. Thank you, Parker.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate it. You're very
happily
knowledgeable man, I will say.
You are so welcome. Either way, this might not be where the bomb site is, but Beastcoast will go back upstairs to defend this portion of the map.
Okay.
It's over top of kitchen. I said this might not be where the bomb site is.
Okay.
But thank you for not listening
for
entirely.
For a slight moment there, I thought
this might not be the bomb site, but yet again, Beastcoast will go up top. See, it's crazy because I started it actually, Nick, by saying.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, not the bomb site.
And I still missed it.
And then you still missed it. But that's okay.
I'm foreign. Anyway.
Did you say foreign?
Yeah, like I'm not native English speaker. It means it's difficult for me.
Yes, no, I know what foreign means. Thank you.
It didn't sound like it. XSET, same approach. On the balcony, applying pressure on various areas of the map. As you see them spread across, 1 in the piano windows, 2 in the library balcony, and a 4th member running around. Surf playing inside the library with no Asami on the board. You can't use those keeper barriers to kind of help alleviate those angles of pressure, which means Surf drops out very early on in the round, and XSET, they get what they want with this because now libraries is theirs for the taking as they keep joining out Surf's position.
Surf repositioning, taking some small damage, running through the walls. The fastest operator in the game of Oryx. He can very quickly make a road through the basement back towards the bomb site or the position off-site that Beastcoast seemed quite intent on holding. XSET, meanwhile, have broken into the library upstairs. They have whisked their way through that top floor and will continue to amass more map control as we hear droning being done. And Yana in particular going onto that Gemini to gain more information for XSET. Might be on a collision course with Zeno right now, sitting inside a bedroom. He's a one-man stand with the hatch next to him. That will be a prized possession. Anthony and Mark not too far off. So Beastcoast will need to be flushed out if XSET want any hopes of being able to get the diffuser down in the bomb site below.
Yep, so far looking good right now. 2 members on this window can go for a trade through on, but no, Gomez gets it done all alone. Does not need any help whatsoever. Anthony sitting nice behind this mirror window. Can't quite get dealt with, but they can still force him into the bathroom if they so choose to.
Gomez go for the vault in. XSET with the upper hand in both rounds now. First bloods to be found for them. Damage done to Surf. Zeno dodges the nade that goes in. Does not dodge the flash. For just a second, blinded, but unscathed. Some of the wall inside a bedroom has gone down. There's a down on a Gomez, by the way, so will need to be retrieved by XSET. Can they get it done in time? Kino swatted away by Zeno. The diffuser goes down yet again. XSET answers back. Spirits 2 big kills. He's got another to be found. Gomez still needs to be picked back up. bleeding out at the halfway point, but all of the bodies from BC are being buried well below the map. Slash in a 1v4. Sitting on the bomb site as Warden, he can shield himself from any of those explosions that come in, any of the flashes that come in, anything like that, but he's got some serious damage to be done. Nitro Cell tossed out, 15 seconds. He knows where the advance is going to come from, but he can't get anything going. XSET top of the last player of Beastcoast on the bomb site, and they're up 2-0.
XSET is probably one of the hardest teams to play against without your full firepower at your disposal, aka Beastcoast having a sub player, because they're such an aggressive team and they play so well together. They pretty much just pulled apart that top floor so cleanly. The only thing that was a bit of a mishap was that, well, Gomez, he jumped in the window to follow a flashbang that originally blinded the Frost inside of a Solarium, but then there was a Frost trap. That's where he got injured. He got picked up later on. All is good in the world. But without anything really stopping XSET from just keeping on the aggression, like getting multiple kills, shut them down either strategically with like deployable shields or smoke cannons or a C4, they're just not gonna ever stop coming for you because they didn't need to clear the entirety of the top floor if they didn't want to, as Beastcoast reinforced both of those master bedroom walls. Now one of them are open, but it's also the master bedroom bomb site. But they chose to. They said, we'll take top floor from you, we'll do the vertical play, we'll get the kills, and they did just that. Got all four, Slash alive, easy pickings in a 1v4 as all members could just sprint in and shoot him in all at once. Similar setup as the previous time. Mirror window facing library. Mirror window on the side. Last time Gomez walked up fireplace stairs, that completely pulled apart the entirety of the round. If that can happen again, which it should not happen twice in a row, XSET needs a different way into the round. So far, the one thing that is consistent is that they keep applying this phantom pressure that we mentioned in the previous game as well, where you open up a window, but don't do anything with it. Open a door, don't do anything with it. But the third time you open something, all of a sudden, you're just in the building. So you keep Beastcoast guessing as to where you might be. The Valkyrie being banned, this just enforces that place a bit more because there's no outside or exterior information you can use outside of default cameras.
All right, 30 seconds off of the clock right now. XSET still in discovery phase. Back up top, we see Beastcoast go. Odd two bomb sites to favor, to be frank. There are a lot of teams that use bar as their main go-to. We even see Garage getting a slight uptick in pick rate, but again, different meta. Teams will practice different bomb sites, and there's a good rhythm here that's been had before. I remember Cafe has gone through this cycle. Theme Park went through this cycle before. Yep. Clubhouse has gone through this cycle where, oh, okay, Bakery is the most defendable bomb site on Cafe. Suddenly it becomes Cocktail up top. Suddenly Reading becomes the go-to bomb site for a lot of these teams. So you just got to watch as teams decide to play it. And again, this is the first time we're seeing Chalet here in North America. It is not necessarily a proper indication of the way that this map is going to be played. It could absolutely be an outlier.
It absolutely can. We'll have to wait and see. And I mean, if XSET keep winning these attacks, you gotta wonder, Beastcoast goes somewhere else, but right now it's looking good because Mark is the first kill to Spirits and Anthony looks for more.
Surf has been downed, but not finished off, so the first pick does technically go to Beastcoast, an answer back, but it comes a couple seconds too late. Surf is still down, so it's a 4v3 favoring XSET unless Surf can be retrieved. There is some value in being downed, but not dead. You can still hear things in a part of the map that maybe somebody else isn't in. Surf can bleed out, walk up, gain valuable information. You can even bait your teammate into picking up a kill, as we've seen before.
True. Yogg doesn't take that fight. Didn't know the whereabouts of the member of Beastcoast. They're sitting tight right now. When no one's really moving right now from the defending team, they're waiting for XSET to make the first move.
Gomez taken out by Anthony gives Beastcoast a numbers advantage, but again, Surf will continue to bleed. I don't think he's retrievable at this point. You're almost at no return, so Beastcoast will lose Surf. It's Anthony to engage onto Yaga and answer back from Spirits. XSET keeps the numbers close, but it's still an advantage for BC. Second time's a charm, potentially. Kino walks in, Mark down and done for. So Kino will need to clutch out with 20 seconds left. Limited HP for Anthony, and Slash is just above half, so this is very doable. But Kino needs to pick his targets right. Nobody from Beastcoast is giving him a single inch. Now, real information for Kino. Walking in again, Beastcoast waiting ever so patiently. Kino picks the wrong direction to look. 3 players still alive, but all that matters is that there's still a defender up as that clock hits 0. Beastcoast gets themselves on the board.
That to do. Kino opting to go for kills in that round, didn't think the plant was safe, and it's such a hard decision to make because they had no information as to what corner was clear and what wasn't. So Kino figured if I can get the 1 kill maybe, then start planting, it might be winnable, but could not find the 2 remaining defenders. So therefore BC, they take it. Round 4 is going to take us downstairs to the wine cellar. To Beastcoast, they are going to change up their approach down to the bomb site prioritization. They're not going to go back to kitchen one more time, at least not for now. It's going to be an extension in towards trench and a shield. So we're going to be playing this extended out towards the trench area. Likely going to be reinforcing the dining hatch in this case. That was a discussion on Twitter that we had between the EUL and NAL talent where they're like, well, when do you open up the hatch and dining? When do you reinforce it? If you're extending the way you are right now, I would argue you got to reinforce the hatch because once the attackers get into kitchen, you're stuck in trench. That's not going to bode well for you. That's exactly why Beastcoast have agreed with that because they want to keep Frost safe in that area. Whoever ends up playing there, as they have reinforced off the hatch.
5 seconds to insertion.
It's a third bomb site to be spotted.
Spotted.
Objective is to locate a bomb.
No bar coming out just yet. One of the most played bomb sites on this map since Chalet has re-entered the map pool due to its changes. I gotta say, I've obviously not trying to shill here, but the Chalet rework is easily one of my favorites in the entire game. It's fun to watch, it's fun to play. There's a great deal of strategic element to all of these bomb sites, and we have seen, very similar to Theme Park, but I think Theme Park a lot of people find Theme Park boring to watch. But there's so many ways that you can attack bomb sites on Theme Park. Same here on Chalet. The world really is your oyster.
I don't disagree with you at all. I don't. It is certainly fun to play. It is a pretty open map. It feels like most teams in most regions agree because everyone seems to play. It's one of those maps that's a comfortable pick for most players.
Oh, absolutely. Beastcoast looking to be comfortable, but Xeno won't be. Twitching away at the door frame, blown up from a nade, tossed up above. Down below the feet of Xeno, but for Yaga it was above. Xeno and Kino, by the way, that'll be fun to say if they ever find themselves in a 1v1, quickly going back and forth with one another. A magnet gets tossed out, but it appears that the garage panel will get opened up easily for XSET. They've still got over half of the round to go, and Yaga's sledgehammering at the top of the stairs will give him a long line of sight to cut off any potential pushes from defenders up the main stairs.
Yep. Looking at the attacking lineup right now, Kino has 1 smoke and pocket on the thermite. That could very easily be the way they can engage this execute later on in the round to try and get in that diffuser because there is a mirror window staring down this wall. Kino trying to avoid the jammer that's next to it. Might be successful. Yep, exothermic charge goes off indeed. Spirits has fireplace control. Can do some vertical destruction to try and open up that mirror window, but chooses not to for this moment. As blue stair seems to be what XSET wants more.
Mark is still here, posted up, and with the shotgun, not a challenge for him onto Yaga. Another will get tossed his way, but a pre-fire from the Buck of Spirits does not connect. C4 tossed out in vain, shot. Spirits can reposition himself and go yet again. Mark has fallen off of this spot, it looks like. All the while this is happening, the focus from XSET is on getting the objective into the middle of the bomb site, and that's Kino at the opening to Garage. XSET now have control of blue, but look at who's just to the side. It's none other than Mark. He'll be tough to flush out. Surf eliminates Spirits. Diffuser still in the hands of Kino. No answer back from XSET just yet. The final 3 players from this team all spread out. Beastcoast with an advantage of 1. When Kino goes for the diffuser, being watched intently by that mirror window. Slash can do some serious damage, and there it is. Looking for more than just a single kill. Can a down be found? Surf with a kill of his own. Anthony falls to Gomez, but the diffuser will need to be retrieved. It's a 1v2. Mark and Surf to clutch, but again the time runs out. 2 rounds in a row that Beastcoast wins a war of attrition with 3 players in rounds 3 and now 4. Still alive. The game is tied up at 2 apiece.
I have to criticize XSET because they had fireplace control the entire round at Sledge, Buck, and Sophia, and they never opened any of the floor and fireplace leading towards that mirror window down below. And you can make the argument, if you open up the mirror window, the defenders can see the breach from much further away, but you don't need to open the mirror window necessarily. Just make the vertical destruction, deny that position to be played because they got 2.5 kills off it, 2 kills and some damage being done. All because no one bothered to break the floor above. So, small minor thing. I will also commend Mark the Shark for playing a really good position on the blue stairs. He tucked the corner, had a crossfire in blue 90 hall, guaranteeing that if XSET were to try and punish him in that 1 versus 1, there was a trade that could be had, and therefore keeping the numbers on their advantage. So good job, Beastcoast. An attack timeout from XSET. Tactical, not technical.
I mean, you've had some choice words for XSET and have spotted some relatively obvious things that need to be fixed. One of the things that we talk about the most with XSET, in a kind way, is that they're never really out of a match. And timeouts for XSET seem to pay off more than most teams. Once XSET can get their head screwed back on correctly and get mentally into the game, things seem to work out quite well for them. XSET looked far stronger in the first 2 rounds, confident on their entry, getting those first opening picks, moving forward from there and using the advantage that they had in terms of numbers. But here we find hesitation, a lack of confidence in those previous 2 rounds, failing to topple Beastcoast on Bedroom on the second attempt, and then failing utterly on Garage. And again, as you said, you had those library stairs control for that whole time. You had a lot of things going for XSET, and yet they still couldn't pull it off. So we'll see what Vivas is able to do to the team, and whether leadership from the team itself can right this ship, as it's a second attempt for Beastcoast on this kitchen bomb site. Second time was a charm when Beastcoast went upstairs to the bedroom bomb site, but what happened again? XSET were successful here all the way back in round number 2.
I believe it was Kino in the player interview or team interview right before the match started said, like, one of the things that XSET they have worked on and keep working on is, like, you're never out of a game. Like they need to just believe that even if you're down 6-0, you can still win the game. And I think that mentality is something that's, it's obvious, like, duh, like you're never out of the game, you can always win. But it is very difficult when you're in the server with all that pressure upon you. You're tilting, you're having a bad time. Maybe you could see Ford or naded like a couple rounds in a row. It is easy to check yourself out of a match in terms of focus and whatnot. So despite that being an obvious fact, if you will, obvious opinion, it is a common factor, a common problem here. Surf getting way too aggressive here, and Yaga finds 2 easy kills as Mark tries to justify the means. Does not work out. It's a 5v3 now for XSET.
And that's another opening pick as well for XSET. They've got 4 of the 5 rounds where they've drawn blood first. No trades. It's been quite dominant for either team. Xeno will defend upstairs as 2 of his teammates have been laid waste to. XSET could very quickly get in that direction, but Xeno's got a window, a couple doorways to watch, and seemingly is unsupported up here right now. Slash the first kill for Beastcoast. It's on to Yaga. 7-3 for Yaga is an impressive tally with, well, still half the round to go here in round 5, but that'll be it, as the sledge is not available anymore. Slash is just firing back. In fact, he's the most kills of anybody on his team right now, leading the way at 5-3.
But he does. Xeno is still looking for more. A bit of a slow start so far. Playing in hard positions, to be fair, on Chalet and getting the worst into these gunfights. The ink being brought now. Candela goes out to distract. Slash under fire from 3 members and gets shut down. That's the bomb site control to XSET.
Well, Slash, I guess he gets rewarded for those 2 kills. I'm surprised Xeno's been able to live up top as long as he had. Kino has diffuser in his hand. It's successfully planted. An explosion from above as Anthony clears a line of sight in, but it's a little bit too late. The nitro cell effective at doing its job, but the clock was just a little bit too far ahead. So Xeno will head back to the bomb site. Gomez sees him, finishes him off. Anthony in a helpless position from above. Hit by a Candela, follows up, gets hit by yet another. Kino can see through them. Beastcoast cannot. XSET take their time out and immediately win the next round. Very similar to what we saw out of the first 2. More confidence and good execution.
Absolutely. Still a tight series, 3-2. The opening kills here seem to have made the round very easy for XSET, but then Slash showed up and got 2 nasty shots and 2 nasty kills, and that really brought them back into it. But Slash, of course, the only member on the bomb side. 1 T fell from all 3 members rushing him. Well, it was all over. Xeno and Anthony up above couldn't quite get anything done. No vertical holes were pre-made on the floor, and the mirror windows had to be retaken from the defending team, which always sucks when that happens. Same with deployable shields. If you put down a shield as a defender, there's no worse feeling than a tagger hiding behind it at some point later on the round thinking, hey, it's mine now. Xeno keeping the Frost every single round pretty much, as these window jump-ins are a big part of the Chalet rework. One thing that did get changed, Parker, is that a lot of doors got removed and a window be added in. And that's when operator like Frost, with those Frost mats, they get a little bit more value on the board. Of course, you get a bulletproof camera, and you get a secondary shotgun as well to kind of restructure around the bomb side of the map. And again, with how dynamic this map can be played out, that is always going to be a good thing for lines of sight. And we see now one big change, that a few holes are now being made in the floor for Beastcoast in case that same thing were to happen again. But XSET, they go library bar instead. They're going to take it over and clear the map up top.
All right. Final defense, do we see an even split? And then watch as the teams turn things around. The same scoreline, that is the real question. I am going to say that with the changes to the meta, the fact that we don't see a dedicated hard breach is quite fascinating. Gomez beheading Surf as the Oryx tries to escape from library, but does not do so with his life intact. Again, back to the hard breach component that was talked about, 2 hard breaches in the hands of Ying. It is fascinating that teams use her as almost a primary hard breach on an awful lot of maps these days. Buck also is used that way with the secondary hard breach gadget. But
yep.
And Nook, if you don't want to use the grenades, and of course,
No. Don't say that.
If she isn't banned, you know. Yep. But only 4 operators have access to grenades at this point, so very valuable. One of them not available at the moment.
One of them is Glass. Isn't that crazy to think about? One of the 4 grenade operators is Glass. Yeah, it's wild. I'm all for it, though.
Finka lost hers, Maverick lost his, Buck lost his ages ago.
Yeah, actually. IQ lost hers a while ago.
I mean, Capital lost his. Hey, Thermite lost his. So it's been quite a while where they haven't had the explosive secondary at their disposal.
You're right.
Half of the round to go, and the only one that was picked off was Surf earlier on, but Anthony through the soft wall in a very common spot is punished by Yaga.
And it is. Diaz holding on the drone hole, not the window instead. Does not do any damage nor a kill, but Mark trying to get aggressive there, gets punished by York. 5v2 now in favor of XSET. Look in the wrong direction.
No.
Xeno.
What are you, a Killjoy turret? That's not the right way around. Slash in a 1v3. He's shown signs of brilliance so far. He knows the directions they're coming from. Some damage done to the Thermite. Follow up now, or rather onto the Ying, not the Thermite, but holding onto the mini Thermite charge. It doesn't matter. Kino gets that final pick, and smiles are all around. The timeout for XSET clearly paying off. First half is theirs, 4-2.
Yaga is really finding so much value in these rounds in terms of opening kills and just alleviating so much pressure. Like, he got a wallbang on Anthony that round to the closet. That's going to be the mirror position off the board. He's found opening kill after opening kill multiple times. A double on that basement situation that they had 2 rounds ago as well. So Yog really bringing the heat for the side of XSET, and that is also why he's sitting all the way up top on 9 kills to his name, with Gomez and 7 right behind him. XSET, they're going to start in the basement. Double Rooney laser gates on the trench wall. Probably going to get reinforced off by the looks of it, as ADSs and shield gets put on the pillar position instead. Slash calls for a rehost. We might do that in just a moment before we get too far into the round. There it is. We should be back in just a second. Get the members back in the server, and we go again, as they say.
We go again.
We go again. We'll say a basement start. I'm all for it. A bar start, I'm all for it. I might even get tricky sometimes and say kitchen could be a fun start, but master bedroom is one of those bombs that's just so difficult to hold. I am surprised to see Beastcoast play it twice. Now, Beastcoast lost master the first time, won it the second, so it is quote-unquote a success. 50-50 in that regard. But I am curious to see if X is going to follow a trend, or if they will keep to the old meta game of Chalet, which is like the bar and the basement of the kings, and then kitchen becomes the tertiary. You see there on your screen, 4 members in the server so far, all from the same team. Good job, whoever team that is. And I guess that's XSET because Yog is, well, it's his screen. Very fast to the rehosted server. Something that players have perfected over the years of Rainbow Six Siege. Because back in the day, back in like year 1, year 2 of Siege, a rehost would take a significant amount of time to get done. Because players would like go take a pee break, to go get some water, and then like, oh wait, I gotta join the server now all of a sudden, and then 10 minutes go by, and they're like, come on, hurry up, we got a game to play. That's a lot better these days. Kudos to you guys.
Quick to get back in and quick back to the punch. A rehost right after the first half means that at least the stats are locked in for the first half.
Yeah.
Our community poll question about who got more kills with suppressors, by the way. Again, good luck to the statisticians trying to keep track of exactly what the answer to that one is.
It would have to be Surf because Yogg didn't play suppressor, right? It was Yogg and Surf, if I'm not mistaken. I believe so.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Okay, no, I'm talking out loud. I'm pretty sure Yogg and Surf played suppressor, and Yogg didn't, unless I'm completely mistaken. But that's what I've gathered.
Nicholas, there's already so many things that you and I need to keep track of in an average game that you're expecting me to not only keep track of who was running suppressors and how many kills they got.
Yeah.
You're expecting that.
Slash played suppressor on Warden. He got like 4 kills.
I know he did.
Oh, so you do know?
Yeah, but was Slash in the community question?
No, so let's talk about Surf. Did
Okay.
Surf get a suppressor kill?
I don't know.
Why don't you know? You know about Slash, but not Surf?
Yeah.
Is that favoritism?
It's because Slash was often left in a 1vx, so it's much easier to spectate him when Surf oftentimes was dying relatively. Surf was playing Oryx an awful lot, and I don't believe there even was a suppressor on the T5, so...
There might not have been.
Exactly.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, see? You
It's
can't
hard.
call me out
It's
when
hard.
the same thing is happening to you. By the way, now that we have the time to do it, we'll go through the stats of the first half. XSET coming out on top of the first half, 4-2. It only cost them their timeout. They used it at the tail end of round number 4 after XSET went up 2 rounds to tie the game. XSET then wins rounds 5 and 6 and emerge 4-2. In terms of bomb sites, Kitchen was played 3 times and was never once won by the defense. Bedroom was played twice, Beastcoast won it once, lost it once. Garage downstairs played once, Beastcoast won it once. The only time it was played, and that's what prompted the timeout. In terms of first blood, XSET drew first blood 5 of 6 times.
Yeah.
And what was it, 2 diffusers were planted?
I only got 1 noted down, personally. 1 might have been planted at the tail end.
Right at the very end.
Yeah, it might have been. Because the second last round Kitchen, the bomb went down. That was when Slash got rushed on only 3.
Yeah, that one went down.
That one went down.
The only rounds that Beastcoast won, fun fact, were not won on kills, but were both won on objective play, aka XSET was unable to get the diffuser planted in rounds 3 and 4. Those were the 2 rounds that Beastcoast won. Both of those rounds, Beastcoast had 2 players left alive, 1 player from XSET. All of them survived until that clock hit 0. Very first defense for XSET, by the way, is going to be Wine Cellar downstairs. It looks like we've got everything in working order, so we'll throw to the game in just a second once we get confirmation. So a second defense of this garage bomb site, which is the Wine Cellar bomb site, will come out, but it'll be XSET going to it instead as they now begin their defense. They only need 3 rounds to send this match away and put it in the W column.
That they do. Set trench being reinforced, the gates heavily favoring the backside here. 3 gates, 1 door, 2 breach, 2 ADSs, 1 shield, all facing the trench side, so a big preference there, expecting Beastcoast to hit that side of the map. Beastcoast themselves, of course, there's a Tagger repick still in the game, could change that lineup, but it looks pretty locked in right now. It's going to be a single Harpage of Thermite with the Dokkaebi and the Lion, so a ton of different kinds of utility, and honestly, I was expecting maybe a smoke grenade or an EMP grenade, but it's going to be double flashbang here from both Surf and Mark. But a very execution-heavy situation here. Of course, Slash on the Thermite did bring 2 smoke grenades, so they do have that available to them. It's quite favorable on the basement attack, because there's all those long lines of sight you can deny with those smoke canisters. Gomez roaming above, making this rotate hole nice and slow. At the 30-second mark into the round, Yellow Ping comes out. We don't know what for, but there's a drone on the ground. It gets found out. It's the first drone loss in this round for Beastcoast. They got tons of info to work with.
Xeno in, making his way fast to the bomb site. 45 seconds off. At long range, gets out-dueled by Kino. The DMR just simply being way too much. And not a single point of damage done to XSET for that very first engagement. I don't think this has necessarily been the debut that Xeno was hoping for, but again, give pause to any criticism that you want to lay at the feet of Beastcoast. As Ferda is not playing, they are not at full strength. They're adjusting to Mark being on this roster. Yes, Mark has played in pro play before, but as a coach, he is not a seamless fit. He will not be up to snuff like Ferda would be. So take everything that Beastcoast does with a grain of salt.
First game jitters, of course, just getting used to the LAN environment in Las Vegas and how this all works, because playing from a stage like this versus your comfortability of your own home, extremely different circumstances. So just getting comfortable, it's a great start here.
Very much so. Gomez with the MX-4 Storm in the hands of the Alibi. Nice amount of long-range gunplay that can be had here. You talked about recoil on guns before being controllable. That MX Storm really does take off. It goes straight up into the stratosphere when you start firing, so catch you off guard. Even pros sometimes struggle with recoil.
That's true. Does happen.
E1D gets burned. Damage is done to Yaga, but Kino on the move still takes out Anthony. Surf will use a logic bomb, and down goes Yaga. He decides to peek. It's a bit of an ego challenge to Slash over by Trench. Does not work out so well for XSET. Still, they hold an advantage. ADS is burning away. Diaz's position safe for now. What goes out next? He doesn't have anything to keep him safe. A third kill from Kino, but that's all he'll get. Mark shreds through him. Diaz on this position, and Spirits with the final kill. XSET gets their very first round on defense. They continue to stretch their lead. They pick up round number 5.
It's a tough situation to be in if you're Beastcoast, because your entry player is Zeno. Zeno is playing Iana. Iana is the only operator you have with grenades, and he died first, as an entry normally would. That leaves only Anthony and Sophia with any sort of self-destruction, but guess what? Anthony was a second member to follow from the roster as well. That deployable shield on the pillar position could not get cleared even if they wanted to. And that is one of the tough situations right now. Without the finger grenades and the Maverick grenades, you just don't have that much self-destruction anymore on the attacking side, so you have to reconsider the value of your Iana being the entry if it's the only set of explosive utility, or only set of grenades rather, that you have at your disposal. Now, I'm seeing something interesting. I'll use that word sparingly. Interesting is that Slash is going from Ace onto Sense on this bar attack. And it's also going from the Heart Breacher onto a Smoke Operator of Sense. This could be a potential rush of a round. I'm going to try and set the... It's gone. It's Oza. Attacker repeat is such... It's back to Sense. We're back on the board, baby. All right, this could be a fast round, so keep your eyes open. This could be one of those crazy situations, because I don't know what else the Sense would be picked for. We'll see. We'll see.
Is that a double spawn peek that we just saw happening? Or?
Yeah. Door and window.
Oh my goodness.
Come on.
XSET clearly feeling very good about this one. You were correct that there is a Sens on the board.
They're moving over. They're doing it.
Very quickly. Do you want this to happen? The, God, did we ever come up with a name, by the way, for their gadget?
There was a couple tossed around, nothing got settled on. They're all
it is a mouthful of a gadget. Let's put it that way. More than a mouthful. More mouth than any person needs, Nick. That's really what it is. But at least it provides a cool visual from above, as the projection screen, if you want to call it that, from Slash. Playing heavy utility operators, first playing Warden and now going on to Sens. Really playing for the team, which is exactly the role that we knew of Slash, the veteran. You gave him praise earlier on for the fact that he can add to a team, especially of youngsters. There goes one of those projector fields tossed out. It will have a mind of its own. It gets shot away, but still it stops XSET from being able to see into the bomb site down below. Hail of gunfire going off. There's been no damage done just yet. Everybody unscathed.
Yeah. Nothing's really happening right now. There's a bait execute to see if XSET would act and run in towards the members of Beast, who's holding them stuck, but nothing so far. They got more to go. They got options.
Oh, Zeno very nearly loses his head. Gomez dancing around an aid. The Lion charge just a bit too slow. Down goes Surf. Slash follows. XSET absolutely mopping the floor right now with Beastcoast. Sidearm for Gomez out. Will he get it flawlessly? Yes, he will. XSET moves to match point.
So it did look like Beastcoast had a strat in mind, but they didn't really get what they wanted. They couldn't get the opening, didn't get library control. The Jaeger dropped down the hatch and got away, but it did look like there was an intent that if they could get into library and shut down the position of that initial hatch position, they could then use Sense's gadget, use that projectile wall to then deny the line of sight and possibly enable a plant or a push, but we never quite got there. It wasn't a rush. It wasn't like we're just gonna hit against the wall, kind of go for it, but there was a thought, there was an idea that just wasn't really an execute in that area. It's gonna take us to kitchen, as XSET so far is going basement, bar, into kitchen. So as we expected pretty much in terms of the bomb site prioritization, they have followed that to the T.
All right. And now we've seen all the other bomb sites, by the way, with that bar coming up in the previous...
That's right.
Just in case you're keeping track at home.
It's like a bingo card. Like you gotta check, you know, opening kill, check. All the bomb sites, check. Plants, check. Suppressor kills is now the newly added one, of course.
Oh, yes, of course. You have to keep your eye on that one, don't you? Well, if this one ends up going into the books 7-2 for XSET, it will be the most lopsided of all the matches that we've seen today. The previous record holder was that Mirage TSM matchup that occurred just before this. Has not been exactly the most competitive day for some of these teams, but that's to be expected on day number 1. Not just a huge shakeup with the meta. LMG's out. You're just not seeing them get played. Finka largely out. Teams adapting to huge sweeping roster changes, and not just roster changes of veteran players, but lots of newbies being brought up to Tier 1 from Challenger League down in Tier 2. So with the sheer amount of debuts happening in Stage 3, meta change, teams trying to find new grooves, role swaps coming in, it is to be expected that we will see, I think, more of a disparity between teams than we saw in Stage 2.
I think that makes sense, to be honest with you. I shall agree. Minute off the clock, and we're scouting right now for Beastcoast. Spirits finds one, he finds two, in fact, the table. That's going to bode very well for them.
Could another flawless occur here? Surf is inside of Trophy, and he's going to lose the wall next to him. Yaga's been downed, but he can still be retrieved. Final player up is Mark. He just has 1 HP. Sprays through and actually gets a collateral, and Yaga's still down. XSET could throw this round, but they won't. They clean it up, but they won't. He for real like that. XSET 7-2. They put Beastcoast out of their misery, very narrowly getting a flawless, just losing out in the tail moments, the tail seconds, whatever you want to call it. 3 big points for XSET. They go into the winner's column with that match.
And you said it, Parker, normally after a timeout, XSET, they show up. What do you know? Since that timeout on round number 4, they won every single round since that moment. That's pretty
crazy. It's crazy. It's like I've watched games before.
It's almost like they should take the timeout on round number 1 and just like start with a 7-0, right? If that's the activation factor, just take it.
I mean, I'm no mathologist, but as the head of statistics, I think statistically, as the head of statistics and percentages, it does certainly seem like you are correct. A disappointing day for Beastcoast, but I imagine their disappointment came well before they ever got onto the stage. Finding out that Ferda could not join the team as an active player. He can join them in Vegas in terms of proximity, but he cannot actually join them by competing due to visa issues. They had to play with Mark, their coach, which also meant that there wasn't Mark to stand behind them and help them too. That's the other thing. It's not just that you have your coach playing, but if Mark is not actively in the game, he can watch all 5 perspectives. And then when the timeout gets called, settle the team down and give a vantage point that is missing when you actually have your coach in the action.
No, you're right. I'm sure some people argue that, oh, if your coach is playing with you, he's in the server, he can always talk to you. But, I mean, if you're Mark and you haven't played in a while, you're going to be focusing on your own gameplay and on what you got to do as a player because it is a different environment for you to be in. And he did his best, and they did what they could, and they got the 2 rounds off XSET, which is something.
And I mean, if you look at the way that the team played and the stats that came out from the team, Mark was not even necessarily the problem. I wouldn't even say there was one single defined problem for Beastcoast. I'm sure the desk has some things that they want to discuss that went awry, but outside of that, it was more of a team effort for both of these teams. Anywho, that's it. We're ready to go to a break, and then we'll come back with our very final matchup of the day, and it's going to be an exciting one. Yes. Sit tight. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
tripping, Aquafina, I'm sipping 15, kept a weapon on me. Flow make digits, I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's gon' be. Crew in the cut, hey, you want us, red run when I tell a peace. Love is love. Love is love. Adios. Bendo with the switch again. Boy, deliver like he had.
North American League, your host Doa, along with Caliber, Jacob, and Jesse Chick, our two epic analysts. And you know what? That was a quick one, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, after it started, it was a quick one.
Yeah, it looked like
underway.
Maybe at the beginning it was going to be a little bit tighter, but no, XSET decided that they were going to end it fast, and they did. 7-2 versus Beastcoast. They got it done in a hurry. And over in Vegas, we have Kino waiting to chat with us. So, Kino, congrats on the first win of the stage. That one didn't seem too difficult for you guys, though.
Yeah, really unlucky for Beastcoast playing with Mark. He's also a really good player. He played professionally before, so. But yeah, we got a solid 7-2 win. Not complaining. I'll take it. 3 points, and it is.
Well, you got to play Chalet today. Not a bad map for you guys. You picked it twice in the playoffs in Berlin. Now you get it here as your decider map, of course, for this best-of-1 series against Beastcoast. What is it about Chalet that you like so much? What do you think it is about Chalet that benefits you as a team?
I think Chalet is mostly gunfights. You know, and our team is based on skill and like gunfights, so it's fun. It's fun to play that map. Even though I'm on Hibana some rounds, it's like I'm still getting kills. I'm still like getting in gunfights, and that's where we thrive the most.
You know, I remember talking to a version of you back in Stockholm, talking about what your future was actually going to look like, and there was a lot of, it wasn't fear, but I know that in the back of your head there was like, what is it actually going to be like trying a different experiment out? Now that you've had 2 straight stages, 2 major appearances with this team, has it exceeded your expectations, or 6 months ago, is this exactly where you thought you were going to be?
This is exactly where I thought we were going to be.
Really?
And we're just starting. We won a title. That's all we want. I'm not quitting until we get a trophy.
I'd expect nothing less. If you said anything else, I'd be disappointed, dude.
All right. Sounds good to me. One more question before we let you go. Tell me about the new tattoo, man.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Scorpion?
That's sick.
Ah, I see.
Like it?
Who do you want to get over here then?
What?
Who do you want to get over here? That's the scorpion line from like when he shoots the spear.
Oh,
you know.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were asking me a question. Yeah, it's pretty sick. I kind of like it. I honestly, I don't care about like. Of course, I like scorpion, but I don't really care about like the meaning of the tattoos. If it looks cool, it looks cool. You know.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Looks dope.
Fair enough. All right. It does look cool. Well, also cool is a quick win over Beastcoast as well. Good start to the stage for XSET. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
Oh,
I asked him about the voice line. He didn't answer my question about the voice line. No, well, what can you do? You can only try so much. XSET 7-2 win over Beastcoast. They kind of wrecked him, but you know what? I mean, Beastcoast working with a new player in Zeno, having to have their coach Mark in. Not an ideal situation, not conducive to getting a lot of round wins. Tough for them. Hopefully they can get Ferd in the mix soon.
I'm so sad for my boy Zeno down there at the bottom of the server. 2-9, 0-4 for opener. He had a rough time here, especially when it came to that opening pick, right? I mean, it was only a 9-round game, so 4 of the rounds, that's nearly half of them, he was taken out immediately. Didn't really have another opportunity to fight back or find any value for his team. So unfortunate start for the season for him. I do think when he gets into a team that has a little bit more structure, when they can play, you know, when they have their full roster, I think they'll be playing as a team better, which will allow him to play a little bit better. But obviously not the start that he wanted to see here on Beastcoast. Got to get this out of your head for tomorrow. Obviously, it's unlikely they'll have Ferda back for tomorrow, but they've got to find a way to turn that around.
I definitely appreciate the fact that Mark was still able to put out this kind of performance, and I do understand what the mentality was, because I figured you might as well put him on Breach because there may be a direct supplementation, maybe 1-for-1 for Drip's roles. You wouldn't play nearly as aggressive as Drip, even though you probably had the capability, but I still feel like him on Lion does give him a little bit more impact. If it's Slash taking on that kind of Breach-like philosophy instead, I still think it may take a couple more games for him to like really remember what it's like to compete at a level like this, but still, I feel like even in defeat and things not going well for Beastcoast, there may still be a positive spin that you can put on this for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the spin is you know you're going to have Ferda at some point in the future. You can still practice with him. He's still in the team house. So you're still building towards that eventual Beast Coast squad that you're kind of imagined coming into stage 3. So we'll see how they do tomorrow. For now, though, we're going to take a look at round number 1 of the entire match. This was one where Beast Coast had an interesting setup, and then XSET kind of dismantled it a bit, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be an XSET attacking round when they started the one off with. And what I really noticed about the defenses coming in from Beast Coast was none of them were on bar games, and they were all very Mira focused. They liked this Mira being unbanned. All their setups revolved around it. Notice they've got one at the top of Mezzanine here that looks into Library. Their second one is actually between the two sites, inside of Office looking at a Master, and Surf's playing behind that second one. Kind of a cool little Mira. I feel like we don't see a ton of experimentation, with different locations for Miras. That one that's between sites is like kind of interesting. You got the shield behind it. Ultimately, XSET do a really good job dealing with it. They had Gomez walk up the mezzanine stairs from the front door, from the lobby, be able to get that opening pick on the player that was playing up there. And then, unfortunately for Surf, all of his teammates die before he really gets to use his mirror window at all. So without any of that support, it's very difficult for him to have an impact as a mirror player playing this like anchor site position. But that is kind of the nature of this bomb site, right? It's the reason why a lot of people don't like playing on this master bomb site. There's so many windows, it's so open for the attackers. They're probably gonna find ways to pick off your far off players before they find your anchors. So it's a cool idea, it's a cool strat. It did work later on in round number 4, I do believe, or perhaps round number 3. Yeah, round 3 when they ran it again. So I think there's some potential there, some cool strats coming through, but ultimately, yeah, XSET. Pretty easy job there to be able to take it out.
Yeah, decent amount of that map for Beast Coast defensively was also played on that side of it too, whether it's a kitchen defense or whatever it might be. I feel like there still is a lot of potential for some decent site setups up in Master.
Yeah, totally.
And so much of that is dependent on if you're defending kitchen, can you defend top floor for any reasonable amount of time? There was one time where XSET just decided, you know what, we're not going to worry about it, just punch straight through, come down solar, they get the kills they need, don't even worry about clearing out top floor as effectively as they need to. But that's the thing about this XSET squad. They've matured from being a team that started well to a team that can now also finish well. So for Beast Coast, it's a nice idea, but hopefully if they play Chalet again, it can get a little bit more expansive.
Yep, that's right. So, at the end of the day, quick win for XSET. Beast Coast going down to 0-1. They've got a chance to redeem it tomorrow. Still going to be a little bit tough with the coach, but we'll see what they can do. Meanwhile, XSET off to a great start. And that means we have just one more game remaining today in our first day of Rainbow Six NAL Stage 3. It's going to be Sonics versus Space Station Gaming. A lot of spice with that one, so don't miss it. It's going to be a great way to finish off the day in just a bit.